Hello there and welcome back to another gluten-free yeast-free baking video. How are we doing today? Today I'm going to be making gluten-free, snow-covered, Tanya Burr vanilla cookies. I absolutely love this recipe and wanted to make a Christmassy version of it because I loved it so much. So I thought, why not make them snow-covered by sprinkling on some icing sugar on top, because you know they weren't sweet enough already. So, you will be needing the following equipment: scales, measuring spoons, 2 large baking trays or cookie sheets, whatever you have access to, baking paper, an ice cream scoop or tablespoons, whatever you're going to use to get your cookies onto your baking trays or cookie sheets, a spatula, a sieve, a large mixing bowl, some spray oil, a wooden spoon or an electric hand whisk, and a cooling rack. You will also be needing the following ingredients: 100 grams of butter softened at room temperature. I like to use lactose-free butter. 150 grams of caster sugar, half an egg beaten, I will show you how to do this in just a second, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 175 grams of gluten-free self-raising flour, and for your decoration you will be needing some icing sugar. Let's go! The first thing I'm going to show you is how to half your egg. So for this you will need to place your clean bowl into your scales and turn them on so they're set to 0, or however you need to set it to 0 on your scales. So mine's at 0, so I'm going to tip all of my egg in here so I can see how much it all weighs together. Well, that's not helpful. So now this measures at 51 grams, so I'm going to do it at 50, which would mean 25. So we're going to place our original bowl, the bowl that had the egg in, back into it and set that to 0. It's at 0. So now I'm going to measure out 25 grams from this egg, because that will be roughly even. Doesn't have to be exact. 26. That'll do, because that's roughly half, isn't it? So, and that is it. First things first, measure out all of your ingredients so that they're completely ready for you to use, and then preheat your oven to 200 degrees C on a conventional oven, 180 degrees C on a fan oven, or gas mark 6. After that, it is now time to prepare our trays. So for this you will be needing your baking paper, your spray oil, and your cookie sheets or baking trays. So now that we've got our cookie sheets or baking trays, our baking paper and our spray oil, we are going to prepare these by spraying them with a quick spritz of cooking oil or spray oil. 2, 3, there we go. Roughly measure the baking paper to size of your baking tray / cookie sheet. Tear it off or cut it off with scissors. I have somehow lost mine. I mean, I do this every week. I should have found them by now. Put that on. Get on there. And press it down. The spray oil will just help it stay down so that you don't have to worry about it flying off everywhere. And now that I've got the space to do another one, let's do that. So, move you here. Spray, spray, spray. There we go. That was slightly bigger than intended, but never mind. So now that these are done, place these off to the side until we're ready to bake. So now that we've done all that prep work, it is now time to begin actually making our cookies. So the first step in doing this is to mix together our butter and our sugar. So we're going to place all of our softened butter into here. And now we're just going to sprinkle on our caster sugar. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Scraping down to make sure it all gets in there. And now we're going to mix together until light and fluffy. Now that this is all done, grab your half an egg. Now that we have our half an egg, we're going to simply place it in there in one big go. And we are going to mix together until well combined. Now that this is done, grab your vanilla extract. Now that we have our vanilla extract, we're going to place it in, again, all in one big go, into our mixture. And now that that is added, we are going to mix together until well combined again. Now that that vanilla is well combined, we are going to grab our gluten-free self-raising flour. Now that we have got our gluten-free self-raising flour, we are going to, mixing all the time, add a little bit of our flour to our mixture until it is well combined. So you need to be here. Now that we have done this, we are just going to scrape down the sides of our flour bowl, just to get, there we go, as much of the flour in as possible. And now we're going to scrape down the sides of our mixing bowl. And now we're going to mix one final time for good luck. Now that we have finally finished mixing, we need to grab our cookie sheets that we prepared earlier, keep hold of our spatula, and grab whatever we're using to put our cookie mixture onto our cookie sheets or baking trays. Now that we have got our ice cream scoop or our tablespoons, whatever you're using to get your mixture onto your cookie sheets, and your cookie sheets or baking trays, we are going to begin adding our mixture to our cookie sheets. So to start with, I'm going to scrape down the side of my mixing bowl. Get it all together as much as possible. Come on, love. I'm going to take one big ice cream scoopful. Okay, and plonk it on. Now, you need to plonk it where it's not going to go over the sides of your baking tray or cookie sheets, but on the baking paper, so that it doesn't pull away or break when you have to move it later on. So I'm going to place mine about here. Now I'm going to put 3 on one and 3 on another, because in practice and before when I've made these, it somehow made 6, sorry. I'm not very good at maths, so bear with me. That there. There we go. There. Okay, that's one done. There we go. Now I'm just going to scrape down the sides of my mixing bowl again. Possibly putting that down might be an idea. And an idea. Here. And then, come on, love. 1, 2. Oh, what are you doing? And then scrape this round. All of the mixture together. This is why I love spatulas, because then you waste as little and lose as little amount to the washing up as possible. I think that's how you're supposed to say it. 3. Now you can flatten these if you want, but they do flatten and spread out in the oven, so I'm actually not going to bother this time. Now we are going to place our cookies into the oven for exactly 11 minutes. They will not look cooked when you take them out of the oven, but don't worry about that, as when they cool they become all nice and chewy. We are then leaving them on their trays, going to leave them to cool on a cooling rack for 10 minutes. After those 10 minutes, we are going to take our cookies off of their trays, placing them back onto the cooling rack, although be careful as they will still be fragile, for a further 20 minutes, and I will see you after that, as it is then time to decorate. Now that our cookies have cooled, it is now time to start sprinkling on our snow. So for this, sieve, icing sugar. Hold your sieve over your cookie. Ooh, no, that was far more than I wanted. Never mind, the majority of it is covered. And I'm doing it on a cooling rack, mainly because it's easier to just clean up after it. But there we go, all done. And that's all you do. That's all you have to do. Just sprinkle on, sieve on some icing sugar, and look how beautiful that is. Repeat that last step for the rest of your cookies, and that is it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out all the links in the description, as I love them all and wouldn't put them there if I didn't, including the recipe for these lovely cookies and my shop, where you'll be able to buy all of the flour and equipment you will need for this recipe. If you do make these at home, don't forget to tag me on Instagram and use the hashtag bakingwithvickiie. Let me know in the comments of anything else you'd like to see me make gluten or yeast free, as I do both. And finally, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time. Bye!